talking with Chris Goslow, and I want to know, what is it about music that drives you to make music, and what kind of message do you have in your music?
Okay. Well, probably at the end of the day, the reason I do music is because it's fun. And what drives me about music, I think, on some level is the fun factor. And honestly, there there are times I can recall in life where music was the thing, the saving grace, that sort of made me wake up and like, wow, okay, that's awesome. So, something to smile about, something to be happy about, whether that's in a movie or just a song you hear on the radio, or I hear, or someone else playing something, or playing music with someone, and how much that means to me. I'm basically an addict. I'm a music addict, and it's just what I live, breathe, and
music
sleep.
is the drug and the cure.
Yeah, and it's sort of like it's the drug, the cure, and the specimen, the thing that is being drugged. And I mean, I just think that I'm just so dedicated to it, and that, again, knowing my purpose, it has a lot to do with it, and knowing that there's all kinds of people in this world, and I've always been interested in people who are up to something and who make a difference, and whether that's leaders like Gandhi, or even if it's outside, if it's Abraham Lincoln. I just saw the Lincoln movie a couple months ago. I was very inspired by that. Or Nelson Mandela. I read his autobiography a little while ago. But then, even if it's creative leaders, novelists, Shakespeare. I remember studying him in college and just being so respectful towards him. And of course, classical composers, Beethoven probably more than anyone. I've always resonated with his sort of, kind of, not only ambition, but like revolutionary ambition, kind of like in his, Ode to Joy symphony, just the spirit of joy and this kind of revolutionary spirit, but it's really about joy.
Didn't he bring back the simplicity in classical music?
I mean, it could be, yeah. I mean,
or the melody. The melody is the main upfront element of music, whereas like Bach was more a lot of layers of sound.
Yeah. Bach was all about layers. Beethoven was in a time where melody was in vogue again. But he brought a sort of a revolutionary fire. I mean, it was right around the Revolutionary War, the French Revolution, and he wrote his Third Symphony was going to be dedicated to Napoleon. But then, as I recall, Napoleon declared himself emperor, and then Beethoven was really totally just so disappointed and distraught about that he took him off the dedication, and he named it after a hero. So it's called the Eroica Symphony. It's a heroic symphony, but it was going to be dedicated to Napoleon, as I recall. But then he changed that because he didn't like something about Napoleon declaring himself emperor and just going for power. I think it was something like that. So there's something about his ideals that, I mean, obviously, he brought melodies that people, some of the most famous melodies to this day, like exactly. I mean, it's like the most recognizable things, and of course that appeals to me too. Something about his longevity, but also his kind of fiery artistic individuality in a time where artists were often sort of they had been like the servants of the aristocrats. That's where they made money. It was like the cook or something. And he was sort of in a time where that was changing. Okay. He was one of the first big kind of merchant artists who sort of had his own freelancer.
So he wasn't commissioned by royalty?
Not the same way of like even Mozart was sort of kind of beholden to the aristocracy. And of course, this is just my perception of it all, but going back to now, I think him, or even if it's Eminem, or even other artists that I respect and admire, their kind of fiery stubbornness to kind of just be themselves. I think as artists, we get the opportunity to express something that other people may want to express, or that we're the people are watching. So, there's this great freedom to kind of create on a canvas for the world to watch and take in. And I think that's exciting. I mean, it's just who I am as an artist anyway, as a performer. You know, I like to entertain and perform, and sure, it's all ideals, but it's also at the end of the day about expression and entertainment and fun.
But I'm curious, after hearing you say all that, if you believe that music actually can change the world.
Absolutely. I think it does change the world. I think that it changes people. I mean, the thing that I realized at some point is you sort of have to give up your attachment to how it's going to change the world or something. You know, it's like I'm more committed to having a happy life where I can contribute and also express myself and be happy, and then sort of work within my circle of influence. You know. And how that'll change the world? Well, it could change the world by helping one student who may learn to play piano who hadn't ever thought that they could, or maybe a student who writes a song for the first time. And to that, you know, it makes a difference for that one person, and that's awesome, you know. Or if you're performing and someone hears your song or my song and they think, you know, that really made my day. And does that change the world? Absolutely. And that's why I think, I mean, music is so powerful. Look at all there's people come out by the thousands to hear an artist. I mean, it's not random. I mean, it changes our, I don't know, our
chemistry.
Yeah, something, you know, and it makes us happy, and it changes our thinking, and I think it's an awesome thing, and it's certainly worth, to me, it's worth everything. It's worth dedicating my life to it. And, you know, everybody has their own purpose, and that's not for everybody. But, you know, I believe it's what that's for me. So, you know, I'll kind of just do my thing, and then and impact as many people as I can, or as whatever is meant to be, and then I think at the end of the day I'll be satisfied that I made a difference without needing to calculate, okay, this is how much I changed the world, or this is how much everything's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
Where do you see your music career going in the future?
Well, I just see I intend to have a great career and just live my life doing music for my whole life. I mean, there's a lot I'm still learning. There's a lot of things I haven't done yet, and there's a lot of puzzle pieces that need to be in place, I guess, to make things really work. But I love performing, and I love writing music, and I'd like to do both, and be able to write music, whether it's like the songs that you just recorded, and performing songs, but also instrumental music is something I've always been interested in. So releasing music, even I love working with projects, people, you know, even film, you know, like writing music for film, and just I just want to be productive and active, basically, you know, for my whole life, and be doing creative things and music, and so that's what I see happening.
Yeah. Chris Goslow, thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you so much, Alex.